Hello, this is Ryan from Danver Stainless Outdoor Kitchens. Today I'm going to be talking about stainless steel cabinet specifications and specifically going over kind of the basics of how our line goes together. Some of the pieces and parts like fillers, side panels, back panels, and how you'd use those in a run. So first off, this just shows a run with some of our door style options. This is just a Key West style panel, and it looks like wood grain. And this would be one of our side burner bases with a side burner on top and a grill base in the center. So our drawers and cabinet boxes are manufactured from 20 gauge 304 stainless steel. There is the option to upgrade to 316 marine grade stainless if you have an application that's by the water or really corrosive environment. And again, just wanted to mention that stainless steel is stainless, it is not stain proof. So if you expose it to harmful elements like muriatic acid, if somebody's spraying down a patio, it will rust. So we always suggest using powder coat when possible, but just be aware, if there is salt air or some other caustic corrosive environment, it can cause rusting and pitting in stainless. Our doors are manufactured with 20 gauge 304 stainless steel with a 430 stainless backer. All of our cabinets are European frameless style with a solid top construction and full overlay doors. Our standard cabinet boxes are 30 inches high, and they have 4.5-inch high leveling legs for our standard 34.5 cabinet height. There are also 2-inch leveling legs available for ADA height requirements. We're a little bit different from the indoor world because our standard cabinet depth is 27 versus indoor cabinets, which is 24. So our standard depth is 27, and then you add 7/8 if you include the drawer and door face. And then we have the optional depth, which would be denoted by a -24 at 24 and 7/8, including the drawer and door face. This is just a front view and side view showing a standard. This would be an OBD unit. So showing that 4.5 inches for the legs, 30 inches for the cabinet box height. And then this would just be one of the drawer sizes and door sizes with the depth. And also the OBDs and OBFs come with a standard half depth shelf shown here. This is an appliance or an electrical cutout that's offered in the sides of all of our cabinets. So all of our cabinets include concealed soft close door hinges and full extension soft close drawer glides. The cabinets come with a 2B matte finish, so that's a non-directional finish on all Danver outdoor kitchen cabinets. For Brown Jordan, we use a number 4 brushed stainless, so that is a directional finish on the interior and exterior. For the Danver cabinets, you'd only see that brush finish on the outside doors. We offer magnetic door closures and rain gaskets on every cabinet. All of our standard shelves are half depth, and we provide 316 stainless steel bar pulls with each cabinet. So some of our shelving options include full depth, rollout, and heavy duty rollout or pull out shelves. We use different drawer glides based on which rollout you're using. For side panels, all of our cabinets come unfinished, but we offer full side panels, which would be denoted as OSP, or flush finish sides, which would be denoted by OFE. The OFE appliance style flush end panels actually have that cutout, that circular cutout that I just showed in the previous slide. So just maintain that circular cutout so you could run electrical or whatever all the way through. We offer finished back panels as well that are denoted as OBP for outside back panel. We offer many different door styles and powder coat finishes, but some door styles are only applicable or available per line. For example, the beadboard doors and louvered doors are only available in the Brown Jordan line. There are some that run across both lines, but if there's a door that you can't find in our quoting system, chances are it's in one of the other lines and not the standard Danver line. We offer ADA compliant cabinetry options and height requirements. So the ADA, the standard leg adjustment is going to be 3 3/4 to 5 3/4, ADA goes from 2 to 2 3/4. And just check with your local code, because the ADA requirements for height change based on county a lot of times. So you'd want to check with your kind of county code to make sure that you're following that. Here's another example of a really nice outdoor run with an L on the sides here and 2 grill bases in the middle. This is one of the most important slides, in my opinion. Our product nomenclature is really important to grasp. So most of our base cabinets, or pretty much all of our base cabinets, follow the same nomenclature. So it starts off with those 3 letters followed by 4 numbers. So the first 3 letters denote the base category. So OB would stand for outside base. The 3rd letter would stand for burner. So for example, if we had an OBF 1801, it's laid out here. So it's an outside base full height door. The width of the cabinet is 18 inches. The number of drawers it has are 0, and the number of doors would be 1. If it's a 1-door unit, it's always going to have a dash and either an LH or RH at the end, so that denotes hinge direction. I just listed an example down below here. So if we're looking at a different style cabinet, an OBB 2401, that would be an outside base burner, 0 drawers, 1 door, and that door will be right hinged. The cabinet depth is standard at 27, so that's going to be 27 inches deep. If it had a dash 24, then it would be 24 inches deep. Here's an example of some of our full height door units. So here's a 1-door full height door unit hinged on the right side, handles in the top left. And this would be a 2-door unit where it's an even split between the doors. So all of our full height doors are 29 3/4 high. Here's a couple examples of our drawer door cabinets. So again, same nomenclature. So that stands for outside base drawer door. The width would be denoted here. We would have 1 drawer, 1 door, and that door would be left hinged. For our multi-drawer units, we offer a lot of different flexibility. I really love our multi-drawer units because we offer them from 9 inches all the way up to 36 inches wide in 3-inch increments and a bunch of different combos. So here are a few of the combos. So we've got an even 2-drawer split here with the OBBxxx 20. So both these drawers are going to be symmetrical. For the 3 and 4 drawer units, the top 3 drawers are going to be symmetrical on the 4 drawer, and the bottom drawer is going to be larger. On the 3 drawer, the bottom 2 drawers are symmetrical, and the top drawer is going to be a little smaller. So what that affects is the door styles. So if you had, say, slab door styles, then that's fine. But if you go with an upgrade, with a Key West upgrade, you're not going to see that Key West upgrade on the top drawer front. It's too small. So same thing with this 3-drawer unit. These top 3 drawers would not get the Key West upgrade. The bottom drawer would, just based on the size of the stiles and rails. It restricts what you can upgrade. So here's a couple other options with the multi-drawer. So this is a full height multi-drawer unit. So this is actually just one big drawer face, full height drawer face here. We don't see a lot of those come up, but our nested drawers are a really attractive option. So it's one pull-out handle with a full height drawer face, and then a nested smaller drawer behind that drawer face. Here's an example of our sink cabinets, and we're showing an attractive teak powder coat finish here with Key West door styles. And it's important to note, you can see that, you know, we have the Key West styles on all the drawers and doors below, which are larger. But as I mentioned before, these top drawer faces here are not going to get upgraded with that shaker style. The sink base is unique because it comes with a false front. Our standard sink base has that false front to allow for some workspace. And we don't put a handle on it because typically you don't like that handle bumping into you when you're over the sink. We can drill it in if you want it. You just have to note that on your order. So here's a couple sink base options. So if we have an OB, this should be OBS instead of OBX, but if we have an OBBxxxL1-FHD, that's a sink base that has one door, and that's FHD stands for full height door. Our O2 units feature that false front. We also have the regular O1 units that aren't FHD featuring that false front as well. For our trash bases, we've got, again, the full height door option, just similar to the OBMs. And our most popular trash unit is actually the OBBxxX10. So the 1810 is our most commonly sold trash base. And it offers just a regular pull-out drawer face on the front, on the top, and then 2 trash bins in line, just right in that straight line. And so a lot of times what customers like to do is put a trash base right next to a grill base, and then you can have something to throw out trash in. You can also have something to throw out your recyclables or your cans in as well. So it's really convenient and attractive option for a lot of people to include in their runs. Here's an example of a grill cabinet featured right here, front and center. So this is actually a grill warming drawer cabinet. So we've got a warming drawer right underneath our grill base. And this is our louvered door style option with a teak powder coat. Again, just showing here, when you have a louvered style, it's not going to be applicable to the smaller drawer faces like below here and then the top drawer faces. So we have quite a few different grill base combinations. So this is our base XXO2, so 2-door unit. And the difference between the grill base and some of the other bases is that it has a trim kit option. So the trim kit has to be used with every grill base. So it features a bottom trim down below and 2 side wings. It's important to remember that with a grill base, you can't shove a grill into the same size grill base. So if you have a grill that's 36 inches wide, you typically, as a rule of thumb, want to add 6 inches to select your grill base. So a 36-inch grill would look best in a 42-inch wide grill base. If you have a grill where it's a different weird size, like if it's like in between, like a 37, you could definitely fit that 37-inch wide grill into a 42. I wouldn't go up another size to a 48 because it might look a little funny. So we would adjust the trim kits accordingly, like these side trim pieces would shrink to accommodate that. But just as a rule of thumb, remember, if you've got a grill at about 6 inches to the overall, to determine which grill base to use. This is a new nomenclature thing on the end here. So an OBBxxX21 would be a 2-drawer, 1-door unit. And then a D denotes not the cabinet depth itself, it's actually the shelf height depth. So this grill shelf height would be 11 inches down instead of 9 3/4. So 9 3/4 is our standard grill shelf height. There are some grill manufacturers such as Fire Magic, Twin Eagles, and Wolf that require a deeper shelf height in order to accommodate them. So it's important, first and foremost, to remember the cutout size. If you don't know the cutout size, you can always look it up on the manufacturer website and provide that to us. We have a lot of trim already established based on a lot of the grill manufacturers out there. But if there's something funky that you don't see in the system, just make sure to attach those cutout specs that we can select the right unit and help you select the right grill base if it does require a deeper shelf height. This is our 4-drawer grill base. So again, pretty straightforward, same layout, just 4 drawers instead of the 2 doors. And here are a couple other options. So this is a 3-way split now. So we're splitting it into 3 sections versus 2. So it's an even 3-way split. So any grill base that is greater than 48 inches wide will move up to the 3-way split. And also the grill bases have 8 legs instead of 6 once you go past that 48-inch width. So here's a 4-drawer, 1-door unit and a 2-drawer, 2-door unit, a 2-2 and 4-1 nomenclature. I really love this picture because it shows all 3 different kind of appliance types and how they're housed. So on the left, we have our grill base and louvered doors below it. In the middle, we've got a warming drawer. So this would be an OBW cabinet that I'll show you guys in a second. And over to the right here, we have a side burner base, or an OBB. So for our appliance base cabinets, all of our appliance bases come with cutouts. I won't get into the cutout specs too much today, but if you are interested in them, you can definitely go to our website and check out the spec guide. So I'll just show the spec guide really quick here. So if you go to danver.com and go to resources and click on spec guide, you can open it there or download it through this link. It has a lot of helpful information, including those side burner based cutout specs. So if I wanted to find out more about that, I would just go to side burner cabinets or hit Ctrl F to search that and click on that, and I can get all my cutout specs and you know, any of the dimensions I need for running gas lines or running electrical and things like that. So just jumping back here. For warming drawer bases, so here's the warming drawer base that I just mentioned in the previous slide. We denote that with OBW, meaning outside base warming drawer. And this is a 2-door unit. We also offer, I believe, 1-drawer units as well. It just depends on the manufacturer for the warming drawer, but I think we have 1-drawer and 2-drawer units available also. This is a combination unit, the OGW, so that's an outside grill warming drawer base. So you're going to have your grill on top sitting on the grill shelf, and then the warming drawer stacked right below it. And also there are 2 trim kits here. So you're going to have your warming drawer trim face based on the warming drawer cutout, and then the grill trim kit based on the grill cutout. OEB, or outside egg bases, we see a decent amount of smokers, especially in the South, like the Carolinas, Florida, Texas. A lot of people enjoy smoking, and so we do have a couple different cabinets to house those smokers. They're in a couple different heights, so this doesn't list the heights, but we have a 22-inch shelf height and then an 18-inch shelf height. And that's just to give a little bit of flexibility. So based on the smoker, some smokers, you might want to have them sit a little bit higher. Other smokers might need to sit a bit lower in order to access them properly. It has modified stiffeners and additional support because these smoker grills are actually quite heavy. They're usually 200 pounds and up. So we accommodated that by stiffening up the cabinetry, adding some additional support specifically for those units. For a low burner based cabinet, it's a little bit different than the side burner. So you'll notice it here. This is the Lynx power burner in what we would call our OBB xxxx low unit. So the low unit is denoting that low shelf height. So you'll see the shelf height is way down here, and the power burner sits pretty far below the countertop. And the reason being is that they can put a stock pot if they want to boil, say, lobsters or water or something. They can put a big stock pot using this pot filler above, and it won't sit way above the countertop. It'll be more easier to access that versus having it flush or above the countertop. So here's an example of a standard burner base cabinet and a standard side burner. So standard side burners sit slightly above the countertop, unlike the power burners. And I like the picture of this powder coat, but I don't like the 2-drawer unit featured here. So this looks like a Summit 2-drawer refrigerator. And Summit doesn't have the same options, I believe, as True manufacturing with a panel ready overlay. So if you want to do a panel ready, make sure you know that ahead of time and select the appliance manufacturer that will accommodate that, because a lot of times it looks better if you have the entire run symmetrical. So if we had a panel ready refrigerator here, we could have powder coated these fronts to keep it all looking similar and symmetrical. And the toe kick is featured below here too. So the toe kick, you've got corner pieces which kind of make it look a little nicer, inside corners and outside corners, just to give that one finished look down below. So here's our burner based cabinets. Nothing really funky going on here. This is just a 1-door unit. most commonly we sell either one door OBBs or the two door. In this case, this is a low unit with a cutout that's a little bit different. So you'll see there's like a sheath that's featured. There's the side trim for the low unit, and then there's also a sheath where the burner base actually sits inside and hangs from that little shelf or sheath inside the cabinet. The side walls of this and the bottom wall, these are going to be in a brush finish rather than non-directional. So the brush finish gives it a more clean, finished, attractive look versus the non-directional stainless. Here we've got a bartending station. So bartending stations are pretty similar to grill bases, just no electrical needed, obviously, and no gas or liquid propane needed. This is our louvered door style, and this end panel or side panel on the side is actually a Key West finish side, just to kind of mirror what they have going on the front. So you can do a louvered side if you'd like, but a lot of people just opt for a Key West side panel to make it look a little different. So with our bartending station, or cocktail station, we have a little stiffener in the back here, similar to the sink base, and we have a trim kit. So we would need cutout specs for a bartending center as well. And that's denoted with OBC or outside bartending center or outside cocktail station. So we offer a few different options for toe kick. Our standard is going to be called out as OTK4, and we use a black anodized aluminum toe kick, and it's got a plastic interior. So it's like, if you imagine it's two thin pieces of aluminum, and then sandwiched in between is that plastic interior. The reason we use aluminum is actually because it's way easier to cut than stainless. We did offer stainless for a little while, and we just found it was so rigid and so difficult to work with in the field that we had to switch to aluminum. Once we made that change, a lot of people, mentioned that it was a lot easier to work with. They were able to cut it. They could use a chop saw to cut it versus the stainless was just difficult to cut. So the aluminum that we offer too now, instead of stainless, can be powder coated. So if you wanted to keep your run looking symmetrical all the way throughout, and you wanted powder coated cabinets and toe kick below it to match, you could do that with the aluminum toe kick. That would be called out as OTK 4 painted versus just the regular OTK 4. So that's the call out for aluminum. So with our side panels, we have a couple different options. So what's the difference between OSP versus a flush end? So an OSP is a full side panel, and that side panel is going to hang off the edge of the cabinet by 3/4 inch. So it's going to add 3/4 inch to the overall width of the run. The side panels attach from the inside. So you would have these Phillips pan head screws that attach into the top connector, and then 2 Phillips pan head screws that sit in a larger circle down below on the lip of the cabinet. So it's going to hang inside the cabinet wall. This top part of the side panel does not go over the top wall of the side panel. It fits inside it. Most of the time you won't have to worry about that because we do install these side panels in-house. We used to ship them separately, but we found it was easier to box and just have them installed so that when you guys get the job, it's ready and ready to go and be installed on site. It makes it a little faster for you. One less thing you have to worry about. And now I'm going to go into our flush end. So our flush end panel has no thickness. It's just the metal thickness. So it adds no thickness to the end of the run. It'll sit flush with the edge of the door face. So this is an example of a wall cabinet, but the base cabinets flush ends work the exact same way. And this is an example of the side panel. You can see it adds that 3/4 inch thickness, steps out from the door a bit. And our front fillers. So these are pretty common in runs. Front fillers, OFLFs, they would get used in between cabinets. So this is actually not the greatest representation. This is shown at the end of a run, but I would use a front filler right here if I needed one in between 2 cabinet spaces. So if you needed to add a little bit, if you had an extra, say 2 inches or 3 inches in a run that you're looking to fill, you would connect this between two cabinets using these eye holes. There's joggle bends on either side. It's a slight bump out just to give it a little bit of a reveal that kind of matches what you have with our cabinets side by side. Now here's an example in the next slide of an OFLF end. So this would be used at the end of a run. So in the previous slide, we show it here. So this would be a good place to use an OFLF end. And in this drawing too, or this picture, it would have also been really good to use an OFLF end here. You never want to have cabinets bumped out right into a sidewall. So there's a risk here where if the cabinets aren't perfectly level, the drawer faces and the drawer sides could actually scrape against the sidewall here. So you always want to give a little bit of a gap and not have that pinch point that's shown here. And the difference between the OFLF and end is that the end OFLF only has one joggle bend on one side versus both sides. So the joggle bend would just be on the cabinet side, and then the non-joggle bend side would run up against this wall if you were placing it here. Our angled fillers are really used in the corners. So if you're looking to fill a corner space or you have an L bend, you would use either an OAF 45, which is just the bend. So this would be a 45-inch bend, or an OAF 90, which would be a 90-degree bend. Most commonly see the 90-degree bends because there are a lot of L runs. This is just a corner egg base. This would be in 2 OAF 45s. And the overall dimension, so that if this is an OAF 90 8-inch, that denotes the overall dimension of both bends together. So this is a 4-inch bend on the left, a 4-inch bend on the right. You can do whichever combination you'd like. So if you wanted to, you could do a 6-inch bend on the left, a 2-inch bend on the right. We usually recommend trying to keep the bends symmetrical. It does look good from a design standpoint, but there are weird situations where you might need an OAF 10, so that would be 10 inches overall, and you could do like a 6-inch bend on the left or 4-inch bend on the right. And that's denoted based on how you're viewing it. So if you're viewing the cabinet from the front, the left side of the bend would be on the left as you're viewing it. The right side of the bend would be on the right, as if you were viewing the cabinets head on. So we have countertop support columns that are used in conjunction with things like refrigerators, ice makers, and freezers. So our ORPs and OBXs are pretty much the same with a couple of key differences. So ORPs are reversible and can be used on either end of a run. They lack the attachment screw holes on one side that are featured on both sides of the OBX. They're finished on the front, back, and one side, while the OBX is finished on the front and back only. So the sides of an OBX have these 4 screw holes that can be used to attach on both sides of the unit. The ORP only has these 4 screw holes on one side. Both countertop support columns have these 8x5 cutouts, these rectangular cutouts, and they are only featured on one side. It's used commonly. We actually use these to kind of ship the legs in. We like to place legs inside these so they don't get lost or separated from the unit. And it also just provides kind of an access point if you needed to get inside that box column and adjust it, or maybe tighten up the screws inside. So here's a perfect example of what would be an ORP here on the end. So for our under-counter appliances, you would have to space those out using an ORS, which stands for an outside refrigerator spacer. So we have ORSs in a bunch of different widths. So for pretty much every freezer manufacturer, refrigerator manufacturer, we have that size to hold that space. And the ORS just consists of a front brace and then a side that attaches flush with the backs of the cabinets. Here's an example too of where an OFE appliance would factor in. So a cabinet would go here. We'd have an unfinished side of our cabinet that would be exposed. So say we had a one-door refrigerator, or sorry, a one-door refrigerator here. Once you open up that refrigerator door, you would see the sidewall. So you'd want to use a flush end anytime you have an under-counter appliance next to a cabinet. Thank you very much. I appreciate the time and your patience and your willingness to learn. There are a lot of great resources here in our spec guide. So if you go to danver.com/resources and check out our spec guide, you'll see a lot of different things that will save you a lot of time and energy. And you can always search this document. So say you don't know exactly what a part's called, you forget the nomenclature in the beginning. Just hit Ctrl F, type in sync base. If you want a sync base, you can click on the actual heading and it'll bring you right to the page. And it'll show you all of our cabinet specs and SKUs for that unit. So whenever you get lost, just Control F is your friend here to use that search box, and then just type in kind of what you're looking for, and it'll get you pointed in the right direction. Also for our dealers, if you're new, you will be getting a QAD login if you don't already have it. So QAD is our program that we use for quoting, and that lists all of our parts, all of our SKUs. And so if you're ever looking for something, you can always check QAD, and that will also list our internal lead time as well. So thank you very much. Again, this is Ryan from Danver Stainless Steel Outdoor Kitchens, just going through basic training. I will have an upcoming training for intermediate training coming up as well, working on putting that together. So I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you very much.